If a person can imagine and truly believe in something, then they can absolutely achieve it. So why do most people remain prisoners of their emotions? Why do they lose control over trivial matters and sabotage themselves at the first sign of criticism or failure? What if true power doesn't come from conquering the outside world, but from mastering your own inner world? Today, you'll learn how to become unshakable, because real strength isn't found in a life free of problems, but in how you respond to them. The biggest trap most people fall into is thinking they need a perfectly ordered world, fair people, and predictable situations to find peace of mind. But life doesn't play by those rules, and Napoleon Hill already taught that a mind capable of belief and vision can achieve anything if it isn't shaken by outside noise. That's the secret, to learn how to walk calmly through the storm without letting it break you. How many times just today have you allowed a careless comment, a disapproving glance, or some bad news to ruin your focus? A study from Harvard Business Review found that on average, we lose about 2 hours of productivity daily due to dwelling on minor frustrations. Even worse, we carry that emotional weight into other parts of life. Have you ever started your day with an argument and watched everything else fall apart? That's not bad luck. That's you giving power to the situation. Learning to master the "nothing shakes me" mindset is key. Imagine someone insults you in public. Most people snap, feel small, and lash out. But what if you just smiled and moved on? Do you realize the power in that? The one who attacks expects a reaction. When none comes, they're lost, and you remain whole. From Nelson Mandela to Angela Merkel, history's great leaders share a trait. They breathe, assess, and respond with calm, not impulse. This isn't a gift, it's a skill. Emotional self-control isn't about suppressing feelings, but choosing a response that protects your peace and goals. Want to try it? Next time someone provokes you, count silently to 5 and ask, does this person pay my bills or improve my life? If the answer is no, and it usually is, just move on. You'll feel lighter, gain respect, and become harder to manipulate. Remember, whoever controls themselves controls everything. The world respects those who stay composed while others lose control. Ever notice how in tense situations, the calm voice with steady tone draws attention and earns natural leadership? That's because calmness radiates confidence, and confidence commands respect. This is the power you gain when your mind is trained. It doesn't mean you don't feel, it means you decide what deserves your energy. And once you choose that, everything changes. Apply this starting today. Notice the next frustration. Feel the tension rise, breathe, and choose not to react. Practice that for 7 days and see how your mind, your focus, and your peace start to shift. Challenge yourself. Spend 7 days without losing emotional control over minor annoyances, and you'll begin to notice how much easier the world becomes to navigate. Real triumph isn't about outdoing others. It's about overcoming yourself, and only those who master this can become truly unshakable in life. Have you noticed how most people waste time, energy, and emotional health on things that ultimately carry no real weight or long-term value? It's striking. Petty criticisms, spiteful remarks, opinions from people unfamiliar with your journey, yet you find yourself dwelling on them for hours, even days. The question that must echo in your mind is this: will this still matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, and it usually is, why keep carrying this burden? The biggest emotional trap people fall into is called exaggerated importance, placing too much weight on things that should never occupy our mental space. Napoleon Hill put it clearly: successful people don't care less, they just choose wisely what deserves their care. And that, my friend, is truly freeing. Think back to a recent moment where you lost your cool over something trivial, maybe someone's delay, a long wait, or a sharp comment online. Now that some time has passed, was it really worth your energy? Most things that upset us don't shape our future, alter our results, or deserve our focus. The University of California surveyed more than 12,000 individuals and found that 72% of daily worries never even happen. Of the rest, most either resolve on their own or turn out far less serious than expected, so we waste our strength chasing ghosts in our imagination. When his factory burned down, destroying what would be worth over 200 million Rs today, he simply told his wife, "Bring the kids. They'll never see a fire like this again." Have you ever stayed up all night worried about something that in the end didn't occur? Consider inventor Thomas Edison's reaction in 1914. He didn't despair or rage because he knew mourning the inevitable wastes valuable time. He couldn't change the past, but he could rebuild it. And he did. Within 1 year, his lab was back in full operation. That's the mindset of someone who understands emotional discipline. So here's a challenge. For the next 7 days, every time something annoys you, pause and ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, and most often it will be, take a deep breath, release it, and move on. If yes, handle it calmly and with strategy. Soon you'll realize that 90% of what once threw you off balance was nothing more than emotional noise stealing your focus and peace. The most successful people, whether in business, sports, career, or personal life, develop this ability. They don't get shaken by every little storm. They understand that mental energy is a scarce and valuable resource, and while most waste theirs in useless fights, they stay focused on what truly matters. That doesn't mean they're cold or indifferent. It means they're wise enough to value peace of mind more than winning meaningless arguments. Your time is far too valuable to waste on revenge, and your energy too precious to spend on those who don't even deserve a second of your attention. Napoleon Hill once pointed out that the most powerful minds aren't those that conquer the world, but those that refuse to be ruled by it. And freedom begins the moment you stop reacting to every little thing, when you let people talk, let chaos unfold, and simply stay focused, centered, and light. So next time someone tries to get under your skin, something goes wrong, or criticism lands at your door, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, then smile gently, take a deep breath and let it pass. Because once you master that, the world may remain noisy, but you'll find quiet strength within. There's a silent kind of power very few know about, and even fewer learn to master, and surprisingly, it has nothing to do with winning arguments or shouting the loudest. It lies in silence, the deliberate choice to stay calm and observe, while others burn out trying to provoke a reaction you've already decided not to give. Because when you stay quiet, you can listen, and when you listen, you start to notice, and the one who notices first always holds the upper hand. Ever realize most people don't listen to understand, but to reply? They rush to defend their stance, to argue back, to prove something. But the real strategist stays silent, watches closely, and in that space people expose everything, their fears, their motives, their insecurities. This is self-mastery, and it's not a gift, but a habit. A conscious decision made by those who understand that silence is often the strongest move. Hill used to say that reacting gives power to what provokes you, and real control starts with mastering yourself before trying to influence anything else. History confirms this. Take Kobe Bryant on the court. Rivals would insult, push, try every trick to throw him off, and yet he stayed composed, eyes locked, face still. While others lost themselves in drama, Kobe remained calm, answering not with words but performance, proving that true response comes in the form of results. In business too, silence works. At negotiation tables, those who talk too much often reveal too much, while those who wait and listen end up leading the conversation. Try it. Next time someone criticizes or demands something, pause longer than feels comfortable and watch them start negotiating with themselves out of discomfort. That moment of quiet becomes leverage, and as Hill taught, true control is prepared ahead of time, starting with mental discipline, not reaction. Because when emotions run high, clarity is the first thing to vanish, and when clarity goes, so does control. Hill practiced this during the years he advised Franklin Delano Roosevelt, navigating pressure, hidden opposition, and criticism with composure and quiet resolve. He knew he owed no explanation to those disconnected from his purpose, and that's a lesson for you too. Not every battle is worth your breath. How many times have you fallen into the trap of reacting too quickly, answering before thinking it through, of snapping back in the same tone, only to later realize it wasn't worth it? Probably more times than you'd care to admit. And that's okay, because it's human. But what's uncommon becomes valuable, like the strength to pause and hold your ground. That doesn't mean being passive or silent out of fear. It means picking your battles and not playing by someone else's emotional script. You don't have to yell just because someone else is loud, or fall into their trap just because they want a reaction. You decide the rules of engagement. Whoever sets the tone of the conversation shapes its outcome. And silence, when chosen wisely, protects your mental and emotional energy. While others waste their breath trying to dominate, you remain composed, watching, waiting, and when you speak, your words matter more. You've likely seen this. People who speak rarely, but with such precision that everyone listens. It's not talent, it's emotional mastery. So next time someone tries to provoke or overpower you, remember, silence isn't weakness, it's the strength that takes away their control. Mastering this tool makes you nearly impossible to manipulate, and those who try to confront you won't even notice how they lost their grip. Most human suffering doesn't come from what happens, but from our relentless need to control the uncontrollable. You can't control traffic, people's moods, the past, or the ripple effects of what's out of your hands, but you can control how you respond. That choice of where to place your energy is where real freedom lives. Napoleon Hill taught this with clarity and conviction. He believed suffering is born from attachment and rigid expectations, and that the emotionally strong learn to release, adapt, and focus forward. Picture a river facing a boulder. It doesn't fight to move it, it flows around it and keeps going. In the end, water always wins. Life works the same way. Think of the times you felt mentally stuck because things didn't go your way. A job that fell through, a failed plan, a relationship that drifted. The mind clings to what-ifs, draining your energy while trying to rewrite the past. But staying there only holds you back. Yale University conducted a study showing that people who accept life's uncertainties tend to have lower stress and greater emotional resilience. In other words, letting go brings lightness. True strength isn't holding on at all costs. It's knowing when it's time to move on. It's essential to understand that some ventures will not succeed, certain individuals will walk away, and some doors will close. And that's perfectly fine. Life doesn't owe you any justifications, nor has it ever promised to stick to the script you've drafted in your mind. The sooner you realize this, the freer you'll feel. It's striking how most people live constantly anxious, trying to command the future. They aim to predict every twist, to ensure all events unfold as imagined, but truthfully, the future can never be forecast with certainty. Control is just an illusion, and clinging to it only deepens suffering. The key lies in acting wisely, planning, preparing, and then letting go. Once you stop trying to manipulate what's beyond your reach and focus on your response, everything shifts in dimension. Embracing that the outcome may not be perfect is part of the process. Napoleon Hill once said our only true domain is our own mind. The challenge still exists, but you feel stronger, calmer, and more calculated. Try this daily. Next time frustration appears, don't resist, just observe. Accept it, then ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, release it. Channel your strength to what you can influence, your mindset, your choices. Over time, you'll see problems lose their grip. Emotionally fragile people try reshaping the world to fit their desires. But emotionally resilient people adapt their actions to the world as it is, and that's why they go further. Those who can sail stormy seas without thrashing about reach the shore faster. Be like water, flow around barriers, and embrace what can't be altered. Keep your energy rooted in what truly transforms. Because in the end, the difference between those who rise and those who sink lies in this. Whoever can let go moves forward, and those who keep moving always arrive. Real power isn't about controlling what's out there, it's about mastering what's inside. It's not about silencing the world, it's about quieting the storm within yourself.